Hey everybody, welcome to Duggar Time. I know a lot of you guys follow me over on Instagram, and you guys have been used to my Duggar rants every Tuesday after counting on, so I figured why not start a little YouTube channel where we can talk about our favorite family, the Duggars. Are you guys ready? I'm ready. My name is Lucky Gandalf. You can follow me on Instagram. If you don't, I'm going to link that below in the section with the information. And I'm just going to get started because I think that every week we should have a little Duggar conversation. Me, you guys, whoever wants to join in. So let's get started. I'm not even sure where the camera is. I don't even think I'm looking at the camera. I'm just looking at myself. Let's go. We're going to talk about the last 2 episodes of Counting On. We're going to unpack those a little bit. We're not going to worry about the cars passing by outside. All right. We're going to unpack the last 2 episodes of Counting On. I'm going to give you my opinions, what I noticed, what I saw, and let's just get started. So, 2 episodes ago on Counting On, we had Jana's Secret Garden, which is a very interesting name. And so, in that episode, they kind of just built her a greenhouse, which was pretty cool. And, yes, I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all appreciating Jana, Duggar family, because Jana is the queen. We know that here in this house, we are hashtag Team Jana, okay? So, there's a lot of things that I loved about the episode. Number 1, that they built her the greenhouse. Number 2, they included Laura in the episode, oh my gosh, which she's been, like, behind the camera the whole season. And there was a lot of, like, interesting pairings throughout the entire episode. So, we've got Abby and Anna, right? They were at the beginning of the episode. They didn't show them together too much, but they had, like, a bunch of moms at Jessa's house. And there was, like, really interesting pairings that I would kind of like to see together a little bit more. Abby and Anna are kind of, like, the same age. So I'm kind of interested to know a little bit more about their relationship. Also, we had Jessa and Laura hanging out and helping with the greenhouse idea. I'm sure this whole idea was their idea. I think it was kind of Jessa and Laura's, like, little brainchild. And we don't get to see their friendship a lot, even though they obviously do hang out a lot. I'd like to see that more. We get to see Jana and John, our favorite twins, right? Hanging out in Knoxville. It was really nice. I loved all of that. There's some things I did not like about this episode, okay? Boo bringing up Jana's single life again for the 20,000th time. I don't know. I guess this brings in viewers. It doesn't. I don't see how this brings in viewers. Like, we're all tired of it. We're all tired of hearing it, and Jana's, like, literally done with answering these questions. She was done the entire season. You do something nice for her by building her this greenhouse, but then you make her feel awkward for the majority of the episode, okay? Life is about so much more than just being in a relationship, and Jana's obviously a very private person, and if she was in a relationship, if she is in a relationship, she's not going to tell you about it right now. When she's ready, she's going to tell you. But she's either not in a relationship or not ready to tell you, and it's none of your business anymore. Leave her alone. Like, there's so much more going on with her life, and I think they kind of wanted to steer the episode in that direction, but it always comes back to, why are you single? That's super annoying, okay? So, now, obviously, it makes her uncomfortable to have that conversation. That hairdresser scene was so awkward. I understand that hairdressers are nosy by nature, but I also understand that TLC gave her those questions to ask Jana. Jana was so uncomfortable. Like, I felt uncomfortable for her. I felt awkward for her. Please stop doing this. Like, her life is about more than this, and, you know, there's a lot of other things that you can cover. Somebody is behind me turning the faucet on, so I'm just gonna wait. One moment! Now, the episode also gets into her new business, right? She has a new business called Arbor Acres. Guys, I'm super hyped about this. I'm super hyped because you know that she wants to be like the next Joanna Gaines. I'm very excited. Next year I'm buying a house. The whole house is going to be Arbor Acres, decorated by Jana. I love it. I love the idea. I can't wait for this website to launch, okay? Now, somebody, somewhere, maybe on Reddit, did a little digging, and they found the Arbor Acres page, okay? Or at least what we believe is the Arbor Acres page for Jana's business, okay? So it's got like a little coming soon on it. It's got a very cute little logo, and then it says this. Pay attention. Welcome to Arbor Acres. We are passionate about finding beauty in our surroundings, gathering people together, and all things creative. We hope this becomes one of your favorite destinations for ideas that make you excited about life and all the good it has to offer. Stay tuned. So, here's the thing. I don't think that Jana is in this business by herself. Now, I know this isn't groundbreaking, information. The business is solely registered to Jana Marie Duggar from Tontitown, Arkansas. Okay, but in the episode, there's a couple of things that she said, like when John was asking, what are you going to do with the business? She said a couple times, we want to do this. Okay, so I didn't really think anything of it, but then somebody found this page, and I see it, and I hear this phrase, passionate about finding beauty in our surroundings. And I know I've heard it before. I know I've read it before. So my brain starts going, and I remember where I read it before, okay? So Laura, her BFF, right? She had written her a birthday post when Jana turned 30 in January. And it said this, listen carefully. Happy birthday, Jana. For all the years we have been friends, you have always been perfect at sharing your talents and caring for others. You bring out such beauty in all your surroundings and make any situation a better one. We all love and appreciate you so much. Happy birthday and many blessings for the decade ahead. I'm cheering for you. It's super sweet. Every other year she writes a birthday post. I guess it's a pattern, right? So check out, she wrote another one a couple of years ago talking about how much do we love Jana on a scale from 0 to spicy chicken wings. Wings from Sonic, #100. Jana is our favorite adventurous homebody, the queen of snacks and funny stories, and the kind of sister/friend that none of us deserve. Then a couple of years ago, she wrote this one that said, happy 26th birthday to my friend who has a heart of gold, a love for cheese that rivals my own, and is far more talkative and funnier than she lets on. Faithfulness and generosity are two qualities that have stood the test of time in this girl. So glad you were born. Happy birthday, Jana. Dude, this chick, Laura, isn't she the sweetest? Isn't she the nicest person ever to write these things about her friend? Listen, how is this girl not married yet? Somebody marry this girl. Do me the favor. Listen, Jedediah, I need you to focus. Just give me a second, Jedediah. Bear with me, okay? Look, I'm just saying, if your sister's not interested, I think you should capitalize on this. Listen, I know that she's kind of old enough to be your mother, but bear with me, stay with me, Jed. You want to be a politician, okay? You need a trophy wife, all right? This girl, she's smart, she's sweet, she's talented. Your family knows her, okay? All of these things make her good wife material. On top of that, she still has a couple childbearing years left in her. I know that's important to you guys. She can still give you a couple of kids, okay? Hold on, somebody's opening the door. We're still getting used to this new YouTube thing. Bear with me, guys. Okay, so I just want you to think about it. Because, look, I'm sure, she's cool with your family, so I'm sure she's gonna let, Jer, live up in the attic still. And, I'm sure that you'd be cool with, Jana living down in the basement, and that way you guys can both keep your best friends around. I mean, just consider it, Jed. Okay, just saying. They'd be cute together. I'd ship them. They're cute together. A lot of people on Instagram do. But they say that they're just friends. I mean, Laura's just friends with all the Duggars. We're just gonna leave it at that. Okay. But anyways, I think I just went on a tangent. Let me bring it back, okay? We'll bring it back to that original post where she says that Jana is perfect at bringing out such beauty in all her surroundings. Let me go back to Arbor Acres. It says they're passionate about finding beauty in their surroundings. You're not fooling anybody. Laura definitely wrote this little blurb here for Arbor Acres. She probably also designed the logo because she's a graphic artist. Why do I think that she's in on this business with Jana? Okay. So here's what I'm thinking, okay? There's another piece of little evidence, right? I don't have the exact dates, but it was at some point this summer. I've told you before, Laura's a graphic designer by trade, right? So on her Instagram, it said designer, right? Under your name, it kind of says your profession, right? A lot of people have public figure there because they think they're important. Okay, and hers said designer. And then at some point in the summer, it changed and it says entrepreneur, which means she's starting her own business. So I think that maybe she might not be like on the title of the business, but I do think that this is the most likely scenario. She's been in Arkansas like for a couple of months now straight, you know, save for like a couple of trips back to where she actually lives, but she's been in Arkansas a lot. She's also been doing some construction work with the Duggar boys with, I believe, J&J Services, which is, you know, the business with James. I don't know who else, which other Duggars are in it. Buildmaster Construction is Jason's business, but I believe that she's been working with J&J Services. She was wearing the shirt the other day in the video that she came out with Jessa. Also, she posted a couple of times about her tiling, doing like tile work. Not just one, she did it like I think 2 or 3 times. And Jana also posted her doing some tile work and working with her brothers. So it kind of looks like they're trying to get this business off the ground, but they're also doing other work like to supplement that income, which makes a lot of sense because starting a business is kind of hard, right? You need like some capital to do that. So maybe they're getting in some work with their brothers to like get some extra income. If I could be frank with you guys for a moment, it reminds me a bit, because I'm watching 19 Kids and Counting all over again from the very beginning. I spent this summer, you know, in quarantine watching Counting On from the beginning. Now I finished that. Now I'm like going back to 19 Kids and Counting. I'm remembering, because I've been a Duggar fan for a really long time, about when Ben was courting Jessa. So when Ben is courting Jessa, Ben lived in Hot Springs, which is a little bit far away from Tontitown. So at some point, Jim Bob offers Ben a job. And he says, Ben, why don't you come move out here? You can live in our guest house, right? And then you can be my personal assistant, I guess. Like, he's essentially his indentured servant, right? You want to get to know my daughter? Now you can spend more time with her. We can keep an eye on you and kind of get to know you a little bit better. It gives you an opportunity to make an income. And Ben is kind of still on Jim Bob's payroll in some way or another, because now he kind of tutors little kids while he's still in school. This feels a little bit like that, right? He's like, Laura's like kind of like working in the family business and doing like random odd jobs for them. I don't know. It could just be, like I said, to supplement the income, but I get a little like Jacob and Rachel vibes from it, but okay, maybe not. But he's never had like his daughter-in-laws or his future daughter-in-laws work for them. It's just been his son-in-law, Ben. So maybe there's no connection there, but just something that I noticed. All right. So this whole business is a good thing. And if they're working on it together, it is a good thing for both of them. They're best friends. Jana and Laura are. And you know what? Like, all the power to them if they're going into this business together. I think that we should support this business, whether you like the Duggars or not. Okay? If you're a Duggar fan, I think you should support Jana. Right? I think we all who are Duggar fans, we're buying what she's selling. Okay? But if you're not, if you're a snarker, and what you really want is for her to get out of that situation, the only way she's going to do that is if she's able to make money. So I think we should support Jana and her business endeavor. I think that there's a lot that we don't know about Jana. I think that she's a private person. She's not one to like spit out her views and talk about what she stands up for politically or in anything. She's a very private person, and I respect that. I think that she was thrown into the public eye as a teenager, and I think that she values her privacy, but this is kind of like the one arena where she's becoming more public about showcasing her creativity, and I'm all about it. So anything that we can do to support Jana and kind of tell TLC this is what we want to see. We want to see her business. We want to see how she is with her nieces and nephews and takes care of them, and how she takes care of her garden and her siblings and all the things that she does for her parents. That's what we should be focusing on with Jana, the parts of her life, obviously, that she wants to share with us. Her relationships are not what she wants to share with us, or lack thereof are not what she wants to share with us. Leave the girl alone. Okay, I'm going to move on to the last episode, which was a quarantine courtship. Okay, that episode. Again, Laura's like recording, okay? 'Cause she can't come out on TV, but we saw her a couple of times, blessings, and heard her voice. Now, that's number 2. Why do I talk so much about Laura? Because we're also Team Laura in this house, by the way. We like her. We're big fans of her in this house. We're fans of Jana. We're fans of Laura. We're fans of Jessa, Ginger. Okay, so we like to see that click on the show. I think I talked about the other day on my Instagram stories. They are the click. Okay, but I'm gonna get into that a little bit on next week's episode. Actually, when I talk about other endeavors of the Duggars. Quarantine courtship. Essentially, they're making masks for each other. They do a birthday drive-by for Abby. Whatever. The crux of this episode, we were all fooled. All of us. Me, you, them, us, we, every pronoun here was fooled with that episode. Because the whole season, everybody was very convinced that they were going to be announcing James Duggar and Lauren Caldwell in a courtship. Actually, at first, people thought it was Jason and Lauren Caldwell. Then people thought it was James because actually pictures came out of James and Lauren Caldwell. Can we just go? Hold on a second. This reminds me of something else. Like, Duggar fans really like to be like, anytime anybody's in a picture with anybody that is not in the family, like, all of a sudden they're in a relationship. People were, like, convinced beyond measure a couple of years ago that Laura was in a relationship with John David. Then John David got married and people were like, huh? Okay, and then people were convinced that Jana was in a relationship with this guy, Caleb, because he was in, like, 2 pictures with the Duggars on the opposite end of the table. Like, Jana's sitting over here. Caleb's all the way over there with different people. People at some point speculated about Nathan Bates. Obviously, everybody thinks about Lawson with Jana. So, this is, like, ridiculous. Because anytime anybody, like, snaps a picture with somebody else, they're like, oh, they must be dating. Not really. So, here, we did that with James and Lauren Caldwell, right? And they could very well be a thing. They could just very well be getting to know each other. Now, what we see is in this episode is not that. Took us all by surprise. It's Justin with this girl named Lauren Spivey. It's taken me a long time to get to say that last name correctly. I have a lisp, okay? But not only because of that, I want to say Spivey. I don't want to say Spivey. Okay, Spivey, okay, fine. Spivey. It's gonna take me a little bit. This is actually pretty cute. They make a really cute couple. After that, all these pictures start coming out when we realize they've been kind of talking to each other, dating-ish for about a year. I mean, they've gone on vacation together. Justin spent time with them in Texas. It's been a while that they've been kind of hanging out, but Justin is still 17. So I understand their reticence to kind of say that they're in a courtship. Now, somebody mentioned this on Instagram. I believe it was Fundy Mama Snark, who mentioned that they had heard somewhere that Justin, like that the Duggars were not on board with him getting into a courtship so early, and that Justin kind of threatened to elope, and was like, if you guys don't let us come out and be in a courtship, like, we're just gonna run off together. I don't know if that's true. That's just a rumor that I heard somewhere. But what I do see is that they are handling their courtship differently, okay? Their courtship does not look like the typical Duggar courtship. Justin's got his arm around her. They're drinking out of the same cup. They look very close. I don't think they're going to wait until they're married to have their first kiss, okay? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think normal people in the real world, a lot of normal people date when they're 17. You know, I didn't, but a lot of people do. Okay, a lot of Christian people date when they're 17. That's a normal behavior for people. Why people are shocked is because they hear the word courting and they're like, oh, because they are intending to get married. And maybe they are, but some people do get married straight out of high school when they're 18. That's the reality of life. Do I recommend that to everybody? No, but if it looks like they're not going to go to college and they're just going to go straight into the workforce, hopefully they have decided what they want out of life. If they both want a lot of children, if what they're really interested in is being married and being with each other, like, hey, life is short. Nobody knows when you're going to die. So be with the people that you love. I'm all about that, dude. Like, I wish nothing but the best for Claire and Justin. But I do think that they're going to kiss before they get married, and I don't think that that would be the worst thing in the world, okay? Like, the Duggars have always contended this. They've always said, oh, it's their decision. Go back and watch Jill and Derek's wedding. Watch Ben and Jessa's wedding. Watch Josh and Anna's wedding if you want. From the very beginning, for all of them, the parents always say, Josh and Anna have decided to wait until marriage for their first kiss. Jill and Derek have decided to wait until their wedding day for their first kiss. They've decided these courtship rules for themselves. Now, okay, whether you believe that or not, I do believe that it is their decision as a couple to do this. I don't believe they're being forced to do this. But I do believe that when somebody has told you your whole life that something is right or wrong, you're going to be likely to stick to those convictions, especially as a young adult, okay? You haven't really developed your own worldview yet, okay? So, yes, they made their own decisions based on information that was given to them their whole life. As the years have gone on, there's been more outside influence into the Duggars bubble than there was when Josh was courting Anna, or Jessa, or Ben was courting Jessa, or Derek was courting Jill. Their world has opened up. Number one, they've been on a TV show. Number two, there are people that are living with them in their house that are worldly, in a sense, right? Or who have come into their family who have different world views, okay, right? Laura spends a lot of time in the house. Elijah spends a lot of time in the house, even though they're not, they don't live there. Technically, they're there a lot, and obviously they had different upbringings. Jill marries Derek, who grew up worldly as well, a Christian, but in a completely different kind of upbringing. Jeremy brings a different upbringing as well, and has world experience as a soccer player. So there's a lot of people in their lives as influences now for the younger kids that might just bring a different perspective to them. There's also like the use of technology. Think about Hanny and Jenny. Like, I'm sure they have phones. Like, I'm sure they see TikTok. You know, like they're growing up differently than their older siblings did. And I feel like also there was a lot of pressure on the older siblings, especially after everything that happened with Josh. I think like there's like a core of older siblings like Jana, John David, Jill, Jessa, Ginger, and Joseph in particular. I'd say those six, that they really had to carry the torch, and still do, as the oldest siblings, to be good examples for their younger siblings, right? Because Josh crapped the bed. So I think that they felt higher than normal pressure to do things the way that their parents saw, right? To set a good example for their younger siblings. And then I think there's like this middle group, right? From like Josiah, maybe down to like Jed and Jer, that they're kind of like in between. And they, you know, most of them haven't gotten married. Some of them have, where they're kind of following what their older siblings did, but they're kind of in between. And then like the younger siblings, like from really like Jason down, who are being raised differently, who have grown up famous, who maybe have different perspectives on life, and I think might do things differently, and they don't feel that pressure. I don't think Justin feels the pressure to set an example for the world about purity and how you should wait until you're married to have your first kiss. For that matter, I don't think that John and Abby waited until they were married to have their first kiss. I don't have proof of that, but I think that John was 28 years old and not living in the house. And I think that they probably kissed before they were married. It's not a big deal. But that they probably said for the show, hey, you know, make sure you're setting a good example for your brothers and sisters. You're setting a good example for all of America and all the little Christians that are watching. Say this. And I don't think that Justin, his personality is just different. And I feel that he's in that younger generation who feels maybe a little bit more entitled to his own opinion. It looks like the Spiveys are a bit more progressive. I've seen pictures of Claire wearing pants. Obviously, we know it's not a big deal, but it is not, you know, to the extreme of, you know, the Duggars wearing skirts. He spends a lot of time there with them, and it looks like, you know, her family's the one taking those pictures, and they have no issue with the proximity. They have no issue with the age difference. I feel like Justin will move down to Texas and be closer to Claire's family. Maybe being around them, he's gotten another, worldview and another world experience about, you can be a Christian and you can set a good example and not necessarily believe all of that, and not necessarily believe that you have to wait for your first kiss. So if I had to put my money on it, I'd say that they're probably going to have their first kiss before marriage. And good, because maybe it'll let them have a longer engagement. Hey, I mean, as long as you're not going further than that, if you have a chaperone with you and, you want to kiss your girlfriend on the cheek, it makes it, you don't have to be in such a rush to get married because you're just waiting for physical contact. You're 17 years old, you want to kiss a girl. I get it. So those are my thoughts on the quarantine courtship. So here's what I'm going to do. Before I sign off, I'm going to give you two things. I'm going to give you, number one, an unpopular opinion. I'm going to do this every week. I'm going to put an unpopular opinion here. I'm going to state it for the record, and you can tell me down below if you agree or if you disagree. And next week when I start off the show, I'll expound a little bit about my thoughts on this unpopular opinion. My unpopular opinion is about Anna. And I think it's an unpopular opinion. I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me. But I think that Anna knows exactly what she's doing. I think that she's not being forced to stay. And I think that she is doing what she believes is in the best interest of her children. And I think that she's getting out of this what she wants. And I think Anna knows exactly what she's doing. I don't think that she's brainwashed at this point. I think we need to give her a little bit more credit. And I don't entirely disagree with her actions. That's my unpopular opinion. I mean, it's not going to be popular. Disagree with me. Also, I just wanted to share with you, last thing before we go, I want to share with you a verse from the Bible from Galatians 5:22 through 23. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things, there is no law. There's no law against love, guys, okay? So if you're here from my Instagram, if Instagram brought you here, leave a comment down below. If you guys want me to talk about something else about the Duggars, leave a comment down below. If you don't agree with my opinions, leave a comment down below. Promise I'll respond to all of them. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. And have a great day, guys. Oh, you guys want to see my shoes? I love shoes. These are what I'm wearing today. Good match. Here's my hat. Here's my fit. Let's go, guys. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.